good brother Malik Beasley lost out on Sixth Man of the Year to Payton Pritchard. I think a couple things probably were the difference. I think Payton Pritchard almost averaged 4 assists, and I think he averaged just over 3 rebounds, even though Malik Beasley played less minutes and scored a little bit more points. I think the deciding factor was maybe the other statistical things that Payton Pritchard did, but also playing in Boston. Boston is one of the NBA's favorites. Boston had one of the better records in the league, and you know, I said this the other day when I did the I talked about, you know, the 3 Pistons, JB Bickerstaff, Cade Cunningham, and Malik Beasley, that was up for awards. The criteria changed when it come to Detroit. You know, when it came to Dan Campbell being 15-2 and beating Kevin Stefanski and the Vikings impressively 2 times that season, they still gave it to Stefanski. You know, so when people talk about they have an issue with Detroit, they do. And historically, somebody pointed this out to me, and it kind of made a lot of sense why the powers that be have an issue with Detroit, because Detroit once was a proud white city. You know, just like many of the, you know, flight cities, where basically the white flight is where a lot of white people vacated the city. And if you know the history about Detroit, and I believe I have a video, put Motor City Sports Talk and Albert Cobo in, and that's who Cobo Hall was named after, and they changed it. I think they changed it after I did that video too. You know, I'm not saying I was the reason for that at all, but you know, with the internet and Google at your hand, people found out Albert Cobo was a racist. You know, just like Mr. Ford was a racist. You know, but the whole white flight thing, you know, if you go look at a lot of the, you know, go to Cooley High, break in there, look at their yearbooks, or you go to a lot of these Cody and these different schools and find their yearbooks, in the very beginning of the school was a lot of white people. You know, eventually Albert Cobo wanted to fight against. His whole thing was Albert Cobo, and he didn't get elected to mayor, but I'll let y'all go research and look up the video yourself here. Y'all can get the history. His whole thing is he didn't want to allow Section 8 homes in the city of Detroit. And eventually, when they allowed Section 8 homes into the city of Detroit, that's when the city of Detroit turned to black. So a lot of the issues that the powers that be have against Detroit isn't necessarily because of the Pistons or the Lions. It's because it was a proud white city at one point, and it became a black city with the population, I think, almost 2.5 million people. And you know, I think our population almost got below 500,000. It's creeping up back to 600,000 in the city because a lot of people going elsewhere, and they figure out, you know, Southeastern Michigan is a good place to be as far as financially. You know, the price of living is very cheap, and you don't have a lot of natural disasters. You got 4 seasons, so you know, a lot of people are, you know, is actually enjoying that part of it. But you know, that's really the vendetta. If somebody had to point that out to me, I really never thought about it that way. I had the information, and I was wondering why the powers that be, and really is, you know, the fact that, you know, the city of Detroit was a proud white city and it turned black. So they really don't be trying to give Detroit no recognition. And when we get championships, we earn them. It's not given to us like LeBron's or Michael's. We earn them, you know. So yeah, when you kind of wonder why, that's why. But you know, Payton Pritchard, he played on one of the more popular teams in the NBA, Boston Celtics. They always want Boston to do well. And the reason the Boston fell off for so long is because old buddy, what's his name? Reggie Lewis? He ended up passing away. But they always want Boston to do well. They always want the Lakers to do well. They won't never let them be down for too long. So, you know, like I continue to say, man, when we win championships, when places like Atlanta get one, any of the small market teams, when they get championships, it's earned. That Dallas championship mean more than more than KD rings. It mean more than LeBron rings, because they stole one from Dallas versus Dwayne Wade and Shaq. That was the one of the more fixed finals I've seen. They stole one away from OKC when they played LeBron in Miami. That was another fixed finals I seen. So the NBA gonna have a vendetta in general against small market teams. You gotta remember the Los Angeles Lakers ain't no fucking lakes in the LA ain't known for having a whole bunch of fucking lakes, excuse my language. That team is originally from Minnesota, Minneapolis. That's why when you see the throwback jersey, MLP, what is it, S whatever? What is the Minnesota, the land of the state of Great Lakes or what, a bunch of lakes or whatever it's called? No disrespect, but and this is how they deter top free agents from staying in places like Orlando, Detroit, and going to bigger cities. Because you don't get the recognition commercially or award-wise a lot of times in these cities because they don't want to market to them. You know? So, you got to remember, you had a Boston Celtics fan said he'd take Payton Pritchard over Cade Cunningham for a playoff run. Real video. But, you know, Malik Beasley reacted. He said, "Boo." That's why they have a hard time getting people to sign to small market teams because you don't get you got to be extraordinary to get the recognition. So I would, you know, Malik Beasley, what he did, he was second in field goal, 3-point field goal percentage made. Yeah, Payton Pritchard shot 3% better from the field, but he shot better from the three. But and Malik Beasley, I don't know, but I think he's a better defender than Payton Pritchard. But defense doesn't matter. You know, defense don't matter in the NBA. When you talk about the MVP, they never talk about how good he is on both sides of the ball. Tell me I'm lying. They never talk about how good the guy is on both sides of the ball. It's all about, remember Jokic won MVP one year, and they said that, you know, this is the lowest scoring MVP we had in years. Like, they obsessed with scoring. That's why when you see Bronson do all that flopping and shit, you know, and you touch foul and they can get to the free throw, they just obsessed with scoring. They obsessed with the numbers, and the product doesn't reflect the numbers. The product is terrible. You know, a lot of people watching basketball for the first time this year, and they're disgusted about what they're seeing. I was disgusted when I went to all them fucking games this year. The referees are the star of the show. You know? But, you know, when it comes to scoring, it comes to Detroit, you know, it didn't matter for Beasley. Didn't matter what he did on the defensive side. Don't matter he scored more points. Don't matter he shot better from the three. So this is why these players charge extra money to go to these cities, bro. Because you just, the NBA, look at Cleveland and look at what they did the other night. Look how they did Indiana the other night. Indiana and Milwaukee was clearly the better game between Memphis and OKC. They put Memphis and OKC on TNT and put Indiana and Milwaukee on NBA TV. The NBA don't have a clue, man. Adam Silver, David Stern wasn't shit neither, but yeah, Adam Silver really ain't shit. I'd say that right now. He might be the worst commissioner I've ever seen. You know, but that's what happened when you got the small hats running the league, running anything. Just keeping it real. All they do is destroy. But Payton Pritchard, I mean, I don't know much about him. Shout out to him. I ain't about to hate, but fuck him. I hate Boston with a passion, but I like Tatum and Brown. They're my dogs. I like Tatum and Brown. I just wish they could have been somewhere else other than weak ass Boston, racist ass Boston. You know, fuck they weak ass Springfield, Naismith, Basketball Hall of Fame. Forget Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch too. Mark Wahlberg is a known racist with hate crimes on his record. For those who don't know, he tried to get Trump to expunge his hate crime, and Trump was like, "I can make America great again," but hell no, Marky Mark. Hell no. He was like, hell no. You know, but yeah, fuck Boston. But I ain't gonna lie, I don't watch enough non-Piston basketball to have an opinion. I just don't. I don't, man. The shit is just, it's a shit show. And then I know we got the draft this week. I don't really give a fuck. Like I said, I'm football burnt out, bro. This season burnt me out. I don't care if football don't come back on for a while. I had enough. First time in my life I can say I had enough. I completely had enough of football. Completely had enough. Them motherfuckers stressed me out last year. So they can take their time coming back, honestly. They can take, but you know, Beasley, he gonna get paid somewhere. I hope it's in Detroit for his sake. You know, sometimes God will show you the perfect place you're supposed to be at. But in your mind, you think your happiness is somewhere else. Look at Kawhi Leonard. I bet if his bitch ass stayed in Toronto, he would have had a better career than what he having right now. But it don't matter. Everybody want their happiness to be where they want it to be at. You know, God send you the right woman, wife, husband, or boyfriend. But y'all want something else, and then y'all end up being miserable and passed up on a good person. Malik Beasley telling God is showing him, hey, right here is where you need to be at. You know? But guess what? You know, a lot of people, they follow the money, you know, and they lose. They lose. They lose every time. You follow that money, you become money hungry. It's gonna take you down a path of unfulfillingness. You won't be fulfilled. It's gonna take you down a path of destruction. Listen to me. You chase silver and gold, I'm telling you, you might get it. Probably gonna get it, but you ain't gonna feel fulfilled. I'm telling you how the game go, man. I remember somebody was saying they went to Africa and they didn't have anything, but they was just the happiest people. Can't base your happiness around other people and around materialistic things. Yeah. You see some of these people be poor on the street and they still be happy. Mike Tyson said one of the best times in his life, it's funny, you leave at early in the morning, somebody still take your parking space. Mike Tyson said he didn't have peace in his life till he went to prison. He said that was one of the best times of his life because he got peace. So I'm just letting y'all know what it is, man. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, check out Detroit Piston Talk playlist. Shout out to Bees. You the 6th Man of the Year award. You the 6th man in my book. Hit the link tree. Follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Check out my Free Game 89 channel. Got a video coming up today about a lady in Detroit beating up a grandma. So check it out. I think I'm gonna make it the 10 a.m. video at Free Game 89, FR33 Game 89. Just hit the link in the description. The link tree will take you there. Peace.